Hey guys, as you can see I'm looking like a pea head right now, but there's a reason why I look like this. It's because my plan is to film a get ready with me while I'm gonna do a story time at the same time. I'm gonna tell you about the head concussion that I had in September and yeah, add a bit of backstory up here. I feel like I have already mentioned that incident to you guys in 1 or 2 videos before, but was just a brief mention, and I think it could be interesting and worth talking about in that video. I'm not planning on going out today because it's a rest day. First things first, before we start off, I'll have to put my contact lenses on. It's going to be hard without a mirror. I don't have the, the mirrors that can stand on a foot or something. That's one on. The right eye this time. Okay, we are done. I have already cleansed my face with that tube that came from the brand grwm. It was something I got in a advent calendar 1 or 2 years ago. It's a clean, organic and healthy brand. Before I start talking about my head concussion story, let's apply a serum. Oh no, let's do this first. The next step would be applying a rose water on my face as a toner with a reusable cotton pad thing. Basically in September last year, in 2023, it was in the beginning of September, I think it was the 12th, on Tuesday. At the time I was starting a job in a sort of, what's that called? Yeah, since the beginning of September I'm working as I'm not a worker per se because I don't earn a full wage as the other workers do, but I'm in between like the intern status and the volunteer status since I've begun working there. This year is just like a break year, and I'm doing 2 jobs at the same time because that job I told you about does not give me enough money to survive. So the 12th of September I was working in that facility I work in. Is like a foster home for people who live with mental disabilities or that have deficiencies, mentally speaking. As you can see, I have another cat now. My black one is still there, obviously, but there's a young one, a young lady that is very messy, but she's cute, so that's fine. I have to take care of the people here who are fostered because some of them can go to their families or parents for the weekends, and some of them stay there all the time, alongside with the teamwork that I obviously have to do, just working as a person who does activities with them during the day. For instance, we do creative stuff like painting, we work with woods. It's not my job because I'm not good with wood, but another worker does that. We do sewing, we do bracelets and pottery even now, or we can also do activities like playing instruments with them, cooking, going out. Yeah, it's very varied. I have to move on with my skincare, I'm sorry. This is a moisturizing serum from Amazon. It's the full-size version. I should not have waited that much in between the toning and this step, but I normally would apply this serum right before the toner is applied so that my skin is not dried too much. Okay, sorry, my cat is playing with the ball. It's making noise. Because I've noticed that when I only apply the serum without having my skin like a bit moist before, my skin ends up feeling, you know. Yeah, let's do the moisturizer first, so that way I'll be able to continue my story while it sinks in my skin. My kitten is making a lot of noise. That's fine, that's background noise. She has so much energy. That's insane. It's the brand Nukes. I think you know that brand, especially for the body oil. That is very famous. Oh my god, she can't stop. She was sleeping like 2 minutes ago and now she's running around with the ball everywhere. So yeah, it's a cream I got in a package that I was given from my mom. It's the Crème Fraîche de Beauté 3-in-1. It's a moisturizing cream as well as it can work as a makeup remover apparently, and a mask, but I'm using that as a moisturizer. It was like the end of the day. It was 5 p.m. nearly. It was still sunny outside. Was in the kitchen, and most of the people that are fostered over there were sent to their apartments with the workers that work during the night there and in the mornings. So as the, oh my god, it is starting to make crumbs. Oh my god, no. I don't know what does that in between the serum or the cream, but I've noticed that on some days my skin is starting to make crumbs. Can you even see? On the days when I have to work or yeah, I have to go out, I apply that sun cream, that sun milk, that has a 50 SPF. It's from the brand La Rosée, and it does not have a white appearance on your face. It sinks in very easily and it smells great. It was made in France. The tube is made with easily recyclable materials, and it's good for sea life as well, so that's fine, that's good. So there's my black cat, and she is there. Oh my god. And she often goes for the plants, and I'm very scared of her making that fall down at some point. Oh my god. She's chaotic. Going back to the story. I was in the kitchen with 2 other workers, and one of them is a guy that has a high status in the facility. He was there looking into the fridge of the kitchen, and there apparently were pizzas that were leftovers from, I don't know, some lunch or dinner, the dinner of the day before. And as he was looking through the pizzas, he was saying like, oh, that's such a waste, we should take the pizzas home, but there was only me and the other girl, the other lady, apart from him in the room, so only 3 people could get the pizzas. And as you might know, I'm a vegetarian girl and I don't eat fish anymore, so most of the pizzas had meat on them. That's why I was not really interested in getting the pizzas home. And on top of that, I went there in the morning with my electric bike that was brand new, so I didn't have any adequate bag or anything to bring a pizza home. As he was going through the pizzas, he saw one that had vegetables on. Yeah. He turned to me and said, "Don't you want the pizza? Please get that home." And I didn't really know what to say, because as I told you before, I didn't have any adequate bag to bring the pizza home with me. My tote bag was way too small for the pizza box, and I mean, I could have taken probably a Tupperware or something, but yeah, he gave me the box, as I'm a person who struggles to say no to people. Yeah, it's something I have to work against. What is she doing? She's playing with my plants. She got another ball somewhere. I'm a person who struggles to say no to people, and I think that experience is the universe telling me to learn how to say no to people, and to put me first and put my safety first. Yeah, it gave me a good lesson. But I'm just at the beginning of the story, so I have to be quick. As the moisturizer dried down, I think so. I'm gonna use the mirror of this palette, like I'm going to use just for my eyes today. I'll use that as a mirror. Okay, my setup is very weak. Hopefully nothing falls down. Because I didn't have any special bag to put the pizza box in, my idea was to take a plastic bin bag. Yeah, something like that. A plastic bag, but you know, for bins, because it was large enough and it didn't have any handles, so that was worse. As you can probably imagine, at that point of the story, the situation stinks. It stinks. Going out of the facility with my plastic bin bag that had the pizza box in, and I got the pizza with me, but the pizza didn't look good, to be honest, and I didn't even know when I would eat the pizza, to be honest. She bumped her head. So, going out with the plastic bag in my hands, I'm reaching for my electric bike that was parked outside. At that point, I knew that it was very risky, but I started riding my bike with the bag in one hand, as I was holding the bike, yeah. And that's what I can only remember, because everything from that point to waking up in the hospital is a total blackout. I think that my brain has erased all of the memories in between, because they were too hard to deal with. It was traumatized, so it erased everything that happened On most days I don't wear any foundation, but because today I have a few bumps here and there, I'm gonna use the blurring skin tint from Fenty Beauty. It has a 20 SPF. Because I'm nearing my period, my skin is starting to break out a bit. So yeah, I woke up in the hospital. I was in the emergency department in a room alone. Sometimes in France or in other countries you wake up in, or you have to go in a room with another person that is hospitalized with you. But I was alone, so that was good. And I was feeling very dizzy. I remember also having pain in my head, very hard pain in my head. My cat is making so much mess. Well, I should not look into the phone, but in the mirror to apply my skin tint. I'm using a brush from BH Cosmetics, and I think that I bought that on Beauty Bay. Oh my god, my skin is peeling off. Oh my god. I woke up in the room, I didn't really know what time it was. And as soon as I woke up, some nurse came in, and he immediately asked me to say, or if I knew what day it was. And the only thing I could say was, well, I remember that not so long ago it was the 9/11 day, so yeah, I was very confused. And I think that, you know, you get asked that question because when you suffer from a head trauma, a head concussion, you lose your memory and your memory skills. So it's good knowing if you've not lost all of your skills, like abilities to speak or to think. And yeah, at that point I was a mess. My brain was not working correctly. Oh my god, did you see that? That scared me a bit. Let's continue. The guy was talking to me a bit. I can't remember what he said or in which order because everything is a bit of a blur. I think that it was like, it was the next day, because I was sent to the emergency department on Tuesday evening when the bike accident happened, and for sure I slept a bit, and I woke up early in the Wednesday morning the next day. I was so tired, so empty of energy, and I could not move my legs, and I was naked under the blankets. That was a bit scary, like a fever dream. Okay, foundation done. I don't really have a concealer to use. I mean, I have something from Maybelline that is a bit crusty now, but because I'm not going out, I feel like there's no use in using a concealer. From afar it's looking fine. It's hard multitasking and telling a story while getting ready. That's harder than I thought. I should get that on the floor before my cats do a tornado and move everything around. The nurse guy was saying that my boyfriend would eventually come because I had called him apparently, but I don't remember that at all. So he would come, and in the room with me I only had my tote bag that was in a very bad state. My beloved tote bag from the Shakespeare Company shop. It was in a very bad condition. He was saying that my top had been ripped apart during the bike accident, so they let me keep the top, but it was stained with blood. It was very difficult to get a look at. Of course, they had to get rid of my jewelry, except for my piercings, because what happened in between the last moment I remember and the time I woke up. So let me explain what happened. It's a recollection of stories people have told me about that moment. Oh my god, what is she doing? She scared herself. So many distractions here. I'm gonna apply some bronzer before I do my eyes. It's the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. It's quite famous. It's the only bronzer that I have, I think. It's very nice because it's easily blendable and it's not too pigmented, and it smells like coconut, I'd say. There's a sponge thing, but I'm not using that. So let's apply bronzer. And I'm using a Real Techniques brush. It's a very old brush. So yeah, so apparently I was riding the bike and I still was in the village in which the facility is, and at some point it's the road is going down. It's I mean, you're not riding the bike on the same road as cars. You have a separate lane, a separate road for bikes, and that's cool. That's convenient because a lot of people ride bikes where I live. What people said is that my front wheel completely turned around and I fell on my head. I fell very hard on the ground, on my very head. And of course I didn't have an helmet, and that's very unsafe of me, but unfortunately many people don't wear helmets, and it's not very good, a very mature choice. The shock was even more dramatic and intense. I was on the ground, and because it's just next to the bike lane, there's the car road, and at the time of day there are many people driving around and riding their bikes around. I was not alone, and some guy I think was around there, and he saw me fell and I was unconscious on the ground with a lot of blood dropping from my head and my skull on the ground. And there was apparently it was very frightening to see. There was a lake of blood around my head, and I was unconscious. According to the hospital paper, I was unconscious for 3 minutes, so that's not a long unconscious time compared to other situations, but that's still a lot. And when I woke up, I didn't really know where I was, apparently, because I can't remember what happened. As I said, it's the blackout for me. I didn't really know where I was. Apparently, the witness guy called the ambulance, and they arrived quickly, I think, and many people were watching me. There was like a group of people gathered around my body, my body on the ground. The ambulance arrived, and apparently the nurses and doctors guys asked me if there was someone that I knew that could get me at the hospital or something, or if that there was someone that I should warn about my accident. And apparently, again, I mentioned my boyfriend. I don't really see if I've put enough bronzer on. Is that enough? So yeah, apparently I called my boyfriend. I only told him on the phone that I had an accident and that I was going to the hospital very soon with the ambulance. And my boyfriend told me afterwards, when he told me that I did that he was a bit frightened, because he was not expecting me to call for an accident. It was a bit scary for him. So yeah, going to the hospital, and there I was first on the bed thingies that you lie on in the emergency department before you get more deeply analysed and taken care of. And they put me in a room, and I had a bandage on my head because I still was bleeding a lot. And my boyfriend actually has a picture of that moment, and it's a bit frightening because I'm like between the unconscious and conscious state, and lying down with a very poor face and with blood coming through my bandage on my head. And actually I was there because they wanted to get me through a scanner to see whether my skull had suffered from any... Oh my god, are they fighting? Oh, my legs feel numb. Ugh. Yeah, to see if there was any damage in my brain or any bleeding inside my head. I'm too low now. Just wait. Oh my god, it's not straight. Is that better? I can't know. Luckily enough, there was not any visible damage inside my skull, and the bleeding was only from my skull skin, and yeah, from the vessels on my skull. And I don't know if you noticed that before in my previous videos that I posted since September, but I still have a scar there because the wound was taking all that space. So yeah, apparently I didn't really want them to get me into the scanner, and I was a bit aggressive against them, and that's funny to me. I don't remember that because I'm not an aggressive person in nature. Moving on with my face. I'm gonna use a blush. This is the KVD blush, the Everlasting blush. It's vegan and it's in the shade Honeysuckle. It's like a beigey pink. It's matte. Apparently I was not very cooperative with the staff in the hospital. They had a hard time putting me still in this kind of machine, and it's very funny to me to hear that. Yeah, so that's basically everything that happens during my blackout. And yeah, of course, being transferred to the room. After that, I woke up, and I told you already about the nurse asking me the date and talking to me. He also told me to make sure to clean my wounds, because as I was naked, I also noticed that my hair was all patched together because of the blood. It was horrible to feel in my hands. Yeah, it was all crusty and all sticky because of the blood. It was a bit terrifying to feel and notice. You said make sure to clean your wounds because I'll come back to put stitches on your wounds. And he told me about the protocol to clean my wounds properly. Of course, I was more than happy to do that, and I was more than motivated. But when I put my feet and legs out of the beds, I felt like I was weighing 4 tons or something. A very horrible feeling, and my head was very dizzy. It was very difficult to stand up on my feet, and I waddled to the bathroom. I put my hands on the sink and I looked at my face in the mirror very hardly because my vision was messy as well. It was very blurry and I did not see very clearly, as I don't know why, but at the top of my eyes, I don't know how to explain that. On the top part when I was looking, it looked a bit darkened. Yes, a very hard time seeing myself in the mirror. And I was looking very poorly, and yeah, at that point I was not naked anymore. Now my black cat is playing. At that point I was not naked anymore because, if I remember well, the nurse guy gave me the robes, the hospital robes. Oh my god, my cats. Have I put blush on this cheek? I can't remember. Let's put another layer. So yeah, I was not running around naked in my room. I tried to cleanse my wounds. There was a lot of blood coming through my head and my hair, and I was feeling like washing my hair there was no hand to it. I gave up at some point and I came back to the bed and I dozed off for a bit because I was feeling not really energized at all and feeling very bad, and I was very nauseous. Everything's a blur afterwards, but I do remember seeing my mom. I think that, oh my god. Yeah, I think that I told my mom because I had my phone on the table that was, the special tables in the hospitals. Like the table thing was in front of me and I was not laying down, I was like sitting, semi-sitting, because laying down was very complicated for me and it made me feel very dizzy. Applying highlighter now. Oh, it's not highlighter. This is the sleek makeup palette for highlighting. It's the Solstice one, and I got that palette in an advent calendar a while ago. There are 4 shades. This one is a cream one, and these ones are powders. So yeah, my mom came in at some point because I think that I sent her a message in which I said that I was at the hospital because I had a bike accident. So she came in, I can't remember when during the day, if it was in the morning or I can't remember, but she came in and stayed with me for a while. Then she left and my boyfriend came in. I can't remember if he came in before my mom or after my mom. Everything is a blur. But yeah, he came in to check my state and he was a bit worried, of course. He was talking to me about me getting out and when he would get me home. Yeah, he said that he would talk to the nurses to get more info about that. And at some point, they gave me lunch. It was like a carrot salad with I can't remember. But was not able to eat much because I felt very bad and very nauseous. So I ate some of the lunch but left the rest. At some point the nurse guy came back to put the stitches on my wounds. I think that there were 2 or 3 stitches. Yeah, it was over there, and he said that I would leave the hospital in the late afternoon and that my boyfriend would take me home. So eventually my boyfriend came back, and the walk to the car was very tedious and very horrible because of the nausea, because of the dizziness, because of the lack of energy and the lack of vision. It was horrible, and it was I felt that was very long. Oh my god, what's she doing? For the eyes, I'm gonna use the Beauty Bay Midnight palette. I think I'm gonna use 2 colors, blue and pink, because blue and pinks go well together. So using a flat brush from BH Cosmetics again, it was from the same set as my brush that I use for my skin tint. I'm gonna apply a blue shade in the outer corner of my lids. I'm gonna use the cerulean shade. This one. The journey back home was again very complicated. I'm not usually sick in the car, but because of my condition, I was feeling very, very poor, and it was horrible. We don't live very far from the hospital, but the journey felt very long. Oh yeah, I forgot to say that in the hospital I puked once on the way to the sink to clean my wounds. I puked. And I hate puking, as many people in this world. It's not a very pleasant experience. Don't know if it looks good. I'm not very good at makeup, but trying my best. And when I arrived in the apartment, I puked again. I immediately puked again because of the dizziness I was feeling. I got the neighbors. My dream home is a cottage in the countryside, but in the countryside that would be not too far from a city, because I love coffee shops and stuff, but I'd love to live in the countryside. When I arrived at the apartment, apart from the puking, I immediately jumped on the bed and I kept the same position as that I had in the hospital. That is that I was semi-sitting. I was like with a pillow behind my back. And it was a blur from then, because sometimes I dozed off to sleep and sometimes I was awake. And my boyfriend was by my side. He was very nice to me. And he brought me some water. My boyfriend gave me water and some pills and stuff that I was advised to take for my headaches and dizziness. My god, my skin is peeling off. Okay. Oh, my eyes symmetrical. I think that's fine. After the coming back home, my days were punctuated by pukings, by drinking water, by naps, and during the night it was hard to sleep because the fully horizontal position was complicated to stay in, as I made my head feel more dizzy than usual, and I felt like I was in a boat all of the time. Another doctor came to see me to see my condition, and it was hard moving my legs. Yeah, it was a very weird week after my accident. And my boyfriend had to work, of course, so he could not stay with me all the time. So my days were feeling very long and frustrating. So now for the inner half of my lids, I'm gonna use a pink shimmer. I mean, they are purple, but I think I'm gonna use this one. It's the Mystic shade, shimmery glittery shade. Taking that with my index. Yeah, I could not really move or eat during the few days, the first few days. I could only eat sometimes applesauce or soup, but sometimes I puked what I ate. Of course, my working place was worn by my accident, and I kept them worn daily. Does that look good? Yeah, let's put that on the other eye and we'll decide what we do next. When I was on the bed all day, sometimes I try to listen to podcasts like the Emma Chamberlain one, but I could not really focus on what she was saying, but it was giving me a distraction and entertainment. In between the two shades, I'm going to use a blue shimmer to tie the two shades in and do a transition. I try to use the gleam one because it's in between the purple and the blue, so it will go well in between the two shades. Let's see if my brush gets anything. I was in a sick leave for 2 or more weeks, I think, and gradually my state got better, but at the end of my sick leave I still had dizziness, still had trouble seeing well and clearly and walking well. And how could I describe my walking? Walking felt like being drunk. I was wobbling around like this. It felt like this, feeling like walking on the moon. It was very weird feeling. I'm gonna apply some mascara. My god, my video is gonna be so long. It's already like 50 minutes long. At some point I tried to walk to a shop to buy my very first Sunny Angel that is behind. Should I show it to you? Yeah, coming back. So I jumped on the train of the Trend and I bought my very first Sunny Angel. It's that one. I'm very happy with it. And I don't have many of them, but I have this one and the deer one. Yeah, deer one. And I'll also have the one on my phone case that I showed you in my video favorites. So yeah, I walked to the shop to buy that Sunny Angel blind box, and it felt horrible but so refreshing at the same time. To be able to walk was a mixed feeling. The mascara I'm using is the Avril Cosmetics mascara. It's the volume mascara. It's organic. Because I was feeling bored and I knew that my condition was a bit better, a nurse took my stitches out, but I still had a very bad scar there, and you can see still some leftovers. I told my superior at the facility that I would be able to come back very soon. My eyes don't look symmetrical at all. Your face can't be symmetrical. That's my excuse. It's not actually symmetrical, so... Okay. Let's go back to the mascara. The aftermath was... On the long term, I feel like I've lost some focus skills and memory skills. And for instance, I'm not very good at reading anymore. My accident has worsened my ability to read and to be focused while reading. And because that, it's like a vicious circle, because when you don't read, you also lose your reading skills. The aftermath of the accident, of the head trauma, plus my lack of motivation, it was a vicious circle. And even nowadays, I'm trying to make my best to read and to start reading again, because I have a lot of books over there to go through. Before, I used to be very good at reading. I could read a book in a matter of seconds, and I memorized what I was reading well. I feel like that eye is still bigger than the other one. Should I try to once again mirror this wing to the other one? It's not better. Let's consider it done. Moving on to eyebrows. This is the pencil from Yves Rocher. It's a French franchise, French brand. That pencil is in the shade Cendré 02. Yeah, apart from the decline of reading skills and memory skills and focusing skills, is there another aftermath to this? Yeah, it made me lose some self-confidence as a result of decline of skills. I also lost some muscles. I didn't really gain weight, but I lost muscles, and it made me feel depressed. Because of the lack of energy, I could not work out as well as before afterwards. And even now, I've not retaken a very intense workout routine. I mean, I work out like four or five times a week, but it's not as intense as before. I'm not as energized. Yeah. Oh my god. Why was the brush moist? What happened there? Okay, let's try to brush my eyebrows a bit with this to blur the product a bit. So I also took my necklaces. My cat is looking very intensely. My earrings, and for the lipstick I choose the Chartierberry one. It's the Secret Selma shade. I'm not very good at matching my eyes to my lips, choosing the correct colours. It's a dark pink on the purpley side. I'm not sure that I chosen this correct shade. Oh well, That's not too bad. I do look like a clown, but clowns look cool. Let's put my jewelry on. Now, how I'm feeling now about this, I feel like it taught me something. It taught me to learn to say no to people and to stop pleasing people, especially when it's at my own expense. Is that the correct word and sentence? Yeah, because it's okay to please people, and it's very honorable to please people, and I am a pleasing people person. But sometimes you do things that warm you afterwards, and that head concussion was a very good example, and it left me some crumbs to work with, like the focusing skills and reading skills and memory skills I had to work on. But I've not really had the time to work on those because I've not really had full rest days like I have today. Moral of the story is stop over pleasing people at your own default, and it's okay to have downs. Life is like that. The universe brings you challenges and lessons, and wear a helmet when you ride a bike or when you go skateboarding. They might not look cool, but they are there for your safety. I'm gonna brush my hair down and come back for the end of the video. So as a perfume option, I would go for the Black Opium one. It's the extreme scent. It's not the normal scent. It smells like a bit more like coffee, and I love that. But because I'm not going out today, there's no use in using a perfume and wasting it. Or on other days I would wear, on my working days, that is most of the week, I could also choose another perfume that comes from Adopt, and I've already showed it to you in my 2023 favorites video, because it's less expensive. Just to finish off that makeup, I might use a shimmer shade in my inner corner, just in the dot. So I've used the shade from the Beauty Bay palette, and it's the Shield shade. It's this one. This one. I hope that video was entertaining to you and not too boring, and that it has taught you some lessons as well as it did to me. I'll see you in a future video. I wish you a great end of the day, a great week. I'll see you very soon. Goodbye.